What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Marcus Washington. You are on the mark, where we talk everything Falcons football. And guess what? Your boy is finally on time for once. I said I would be on here at 8:30, and goddamn it, I'm on here at 8:30. So let's get into the mix here with hold on for a second. I'm trying to find something real quick. Hold on. God, that was way too loud. Oh, what is going on with my computer, man? My computer's acting up. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do, fam, we're just going to dive into Terry Fontenot's conversation with Tori, because to me, it's a lot easier than going through that 20 plus minutes of just, you can't hear the question. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to get into that, and then we'll talk about this Justin Fields situation. Some people think things are heating up. Some people think that we're going that way. So we'll get into that, but let's dive right into the Terry Fontenot conversation. What's going on there? Let me get these comments in here real quick. Keonis, what's going on? He says, let's get it, my brother. G says, what's good, Marcus? Happy Wednesday evening, my guy. Man, you know what? I thank you for letting me know what day it is. Fam, my days are bleeding into each other. That's a quick reminder for me because I'm going to see Dune tomorrow. And if you would not have told me it was Wednesday, I would have got up Thursday and not thought twice about it and then missed going to see that. So I appreciate that. What's going on, John? He says, what's good, Marcus? Seth says, I love it that we ain't done nothing but cut Jonnu. Yeah, we ain't making no crazy moves yet. Country says, greetings to the chat and greetings to you, Mark. Man, what's happening? Travis says, what's happening, pimp? What's going down? What's happening, Vaughn? What's going on, fam? So we're going to go ahead and dive into this relatively quick, man. I'm not going to try and keep y'all all night tonight. This might run 45, maybe 45 minutes tonight. So let's go ahead and get into it and get active. All righty, let's get active.
Taryn Walk and General Manager Terry Fontenot reporting from the Indianapolis NFL Scouting Combine here on Radio Row. Now, Terry, this is probably interview number
Justin?
7 that you've done
It's been a lot
this morning.
Yeah.
I'm curious, more so taking a step back for a second. When you were kind of like getting to the point of you're bringing Raheem and the entire staff in, how do you kind of marry the fact that the scouting department, y'all's scouting department, has done so much work on this draft class to this point, and you're trying to marry together what Raheem's vision is, what Zach Robinson's vision is, Jimmy Lake, well, take us into that process.
Yeah, that's really cool. So we went through February meetings with the scouts. Those are just the scouts. Kyle Smith runs those meetings, and you basically go through, we've got the season, and then we've got the all-star games, and we go through, stack the board based off that, right? Yeah. So that's the scouts. Then we get into the meetings with the coaches. So we met about our roster, and then we got through and we went through the profiles that every coach is looking for at the position moving forward. These are the ideals. These are the non-negotiables. And so we spend.
Now, I forgot to mention yesterday, I'm just going to pause this real quick, but I forgot to mention yesterday, it's important that the GMs are there at the combine because they are talking behind closed doors, not talking to agents, not talking to players, of course, but they are talking amongst each other about, potential moves. So Terry definitely has to be there, especially when there's some teams right now that are trying to get off of guys. So we'll continue.
And all that time with the coaches going through it, with the scouts,
Mhm.
right? And so we know, okay, this is what we're looking for moving forward. This is the vision for these players that we have on the roster. This is what we're looking for moving forward. Then we transition right into free agency,
Yeah.
and we start to have those conversations. So as you're doing it, it's really good communication because scouts will ask questions. Okay, coach, we know this is how you want a cornerback to look. And this is, okay, what if we have this or what if we have this? Because we talk about it all the time. No one's perfect. There's not just a perfect prototype for everything. We all have flaws. What can we live with? What can we not live with? So there's been a lot of really, really good communication with the coaches. And so we can do that together. So it starts with going through our roster and going through the draft. And then we meet with the coaches a lot, and it's super collaborative. So as the coaches get more involved in college, we're going to sit down again and have those meetings, and we'll have those conversations as we evaluate the players. This is where everyone sees them, and okay, what can we improve? What can we live with? What can we not? So those are it's going to be a lot of work together,
Right.
But it's exciting.
What have you learned about Raheem Morse during this process?
It's I would say it's just confirmed everything, right? Because the things you're so excited about Raheem
What's going
is
on,
the
Millie?
person he is. That's what it starts with. The leader he is, the collaborative mindset that he has, and you know all those things. The daily energy. I can't walk in the building without him yelling at me from upstairs, and it starts right away. And that's been, it's kind of confirmed everything. And he put together such a great staff. And it's like-minded people that, again, people that are positive, that have a lot of energy, that have a lot of passion, that are really smart, and but also are very collaborative. So that communication that the guys have had together, again, it starts with me and Raheem, but it's gone throughout the building. So I'd say just confirmed a lot of things and get more and more excited as we go.
When it comes to the fact, I mean, we got to talk about the quarterback. I mean, I'm sure you've been asked 17 times over about
Nobody's
it.
brought that up.
None, no
Weird.
one, not at all. That's a lie. So when it came to when Raheem did his introductory press conference, he made the comment. He was like, "Okay, we haven't had a ton of conversations yet. Those are coming. Those are imminent." How have those conversations evolved since that point in time, and as y'all have gone through the scouting meetings, the February meetings, all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on it. And again,
up,
it
Wallace?
starts at every position talking about what are our ideals, what are we looking for, what's most important. But we know we have an open mind about it. There's not just this fixed thing that this is the only way we're going to attack it at any position. So we have a lot of those conversations, and then we get into it and we meet about the veterans that are available, be it free agency, via trade, and then now we're starting to get through the draft guys that are available, and we have a lot of from Zach Robinson, TJ Yates, Ken Zampese, DJ Williams. There's a lot of really, really smart people that we're working with, and that part has been really fun. So it's important because there's different ways to do it, right? There's not just one specific, okay, this is the only type of quarterback we want here. No, there's a lot of different ways to do it. And so, but the collaboration and the communication has been outstanding.
How confident do you feel in the plan that y'all have put together? I know it's probably evolving and you'll get a lot of information over the coming days about the guys who are here, but how solid do y'all feel about everybody moving in the same direction?
Yeah, I feel very confident. And again, it's because of the people we have in the building and the work that's been put into it. But you're right, Tori, you do have to be fluid because there's a lot of variables and we're gathering more information.
What's going on, Phil?
And so we're continuing to get every one of those. We're getting to meet with some of these guys over the next couple of days, and we're continuing to go through that process. So feel very, very confident about where we are right now, and we're going to be flexible and continue to move forward.
It sounds like things have been going seamlessly since Raheem has got here. Is that true? And does it surprise you if so?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all because that was kind of the expectation. It's like I said, it's just fun. Anytime we have meetings with.
Let me pause. In that soliloquy he gave about the quarterback, you didn't mention Desmond Ridder as a plan at all. He mentioned free agency, trade, and draft. So I just have to I keep having to hammer this home because it's not me saying this. It's these guys letting you know that Desmond Ridder is not going to be a starter. Now, will they cut him? Will they keep him? I don't know. But what I do know is when week 1 starts, whoever they decide that they're going to get, it's not going to be him. Let's continue.
With the whole staff in there, you get more and more excited about this staff. And like I said, we have a very smart, passionate staff, but also it's very collaborative. And we know we have a very passionate front office and the whole staff, whether we're talking about analytics or in all the groups in the building, we have a really, really good staff. And so when everybody's working together, moving in the same direction, and we're not talking about people that just we're not talking about groupthink, right? And we have disagreements and we see things differently and we work through them. So there's a lot of good conversations going on, but it's very, very exciting.
How have Zach Robinson and Jimmy Lake specifically earned your trust?
Right away from when I got to sit in on those interviews and really go through them and all the research that you do, just like players. When you're looking at players, you talk to a lot of different sources and gather information about them. So we did that. And just like Raheem, it starts with the men. Those are great men, right? And great human beings, great people. Those are people that you want to be like. Those are real, true leaders of men. And so, or even, again, I knew that about Marquise already, but talking about all our coordinators, these are real leaders of men. And when you get into the football part of it, and then you just really feel their acumen. And as you're going through this, whether you're evaluating our roster, evaluating college or pro players, or just talking about specific visions for what we're looking for, as you go through those meetings, you really get to feel how sharp those guys are, how humble those guys are in the right way, and then how willing they are to continue to evolve and adapt as we move forward.
How do you prioritize needs over essentially position by position?
Yep.
When you know, okay, we need X, Y, or Z here, here, and here. How do you prioritize, okay, this is where we need to go into the draft to get somebody, go into free agency to get somebody? Like, what does that prioritization look like?
Yeah, so you identify your must needs and wants, right? We look at our roster. Okay, these are the things, these are the must needs and wants. And then you look at the total picture, right? So this is what's available in the draft. This is what's available in free agency. This is what's available via trade. And then you go through all the if then scenarios, right? So, okay, this is option A. If we do this, then this is how we'll fill this. Okay, if you pivot here, this is how it really does affect every area. And you talk through all those situations. Again, we have our plans, and yet as you get more information, those plans can shift. But you're right, you have to look at the total picture. You can't just have blinders on and say, I'm just going to look at free agency, I'm just going to look at possible trades, you have to look at the total picture. Where are the strengths in free agency in the draft, so you can figure out a way to, because you want to bring in the best possible players that you can, and not get, even if we have a must here, okay, and then there may not even be a need at a certain spot. But if we get a guy that can really help this team and we're going to go after him and understand that, as opposed to reaching and getting a lesser player to must, if that makes sense.
No, that does.
We talk about a guy like Jesse Bates, and you want to add guys like that, or a guy like Caden Ellis or David Onyemata, regardless of if they're at must positions. We want to add good players that fit the makeup for us, and whether we're talking about free agency or the draft. But to answer your question, we have to really look at the total picture, and these are the ways we're going to fill all these areas, and look at all the different avenues to do it.
I want to get into some salary cap stuff before we let you go. This year there was a $30 million increase, and I think overall it was a lot of money that I don't think a lot of people truly expected that. When it comes to your conversations that you're having with other general managers in the league and other coaching staffs, all of that kind of stuff, what was that impact
What's
like?
good,
and also, what's the impact like for this organization, this Falcons team, where y'all are now?
Yeah, it makes a difference. It was unprecedented,
right?
Because you get that number, and especially when you look at where it was 3 years ago, or even where it was 10 years ago, it's unbelievable how much it's grown. It says a lot about this league and the growth of the NFL. And so anyone that works in the NFL should be excited about that.
Appreciate that, Super Andrew.
Now, what we have to do is we map out our plans, and regardless of if that cap number came in
what's
20 million less,
Maddie?
we still got to hit these must needs and wants, and we still got to get it done. And we still have to make sure we look at getting everything done we need to get right now, but then make sure we're also looking at the long-term health and the long-term future. And so we'll have to do the same thing. It's not like you get extra money and, okay, now we're going to be reckless and careless in terms of what we do. We have to figure out exactly what we need, figure out the right ways to get it.
Yeah.
But have a strategy regarding the cap as well, because we don't want to just win a championship this year. We want to win multiple championships, and we want to be a good football team for a long time.
Terry.
We want to build our team for long-term success. So excited to get that number back, but we still have to have the right strategy moving forward.
Last question, we'll let you go. Every year you kind of come to the combine and you've had kind of a theme of your combine availabilities. I don't know if you've realized this about yourself. Yeah. So
is there a theme this year yet?
So I think you just kind of said it, but I'm going to really have you like hone in on it. But in 2021 is we have to be smart. We have to be strategic. We have to be patient. We have to get this thing on track. In 2022 is facing kind of the elephant in the room, taking on a lot of dead money in order to kind of just take it on the chin and move forward. 23, it was about discipline. And just because we have all this money doesn't mean you just go buck wild with it. What
buck wild? I've heard that in a while.
I'm from Chickamauga, Georgia. I got to represent in some way. What is it for 2024?
Yeah, I think for 2024 is we're just very clear with our needs and what those areas are, and we got to go get them. And again, it's very exciting. I'm very excited about where we are, but we will be aggressive, and we have to make this total team better. Clearly, we're gonna get the quarterback position right, not close. And the reason I have, it's not an arrogance, it's a confidence, but it's because of the people we have in our building, from Kyle Smith and the staff through Raheem and Zach and the entire coaching staff. That's why I'm very confident that we're going to get it right. But then also there's other things too. In our entire roster, everybody's going to look in the mirror just like myself. I'm going to get better. Everybody that's on our roster now, they're going to get better. They're going to take that next step, and then we're going to add the right pieces. We're going to make this team better, and we're going to be ready to roll.
I love it. That's a good note to end on. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we are coming from Radio Row at the NFL Combine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that was Terry Fontenot, low-key cooking, but not really telling you anything. Let me put my music back on here for a second. So I think they have this air of confidence in the building because you got roster, you got cap space, you got draft picks. I mean, and you don't have anybody that is about to devastate your salary cap anytime soon. So there is a window for Atlanta to be competitive. And be seriously competitive, not competitive as to, you make the playoffs and then that's just acceptable. I think this team is looking at, listen, the playoffs should be a given. We're trying to go for the jugular. We're trying to hold up that big trophy. And a lot of people probably laugh at that, man, because, what have the Falcons done? All the Falcons have done is wet the bed, man. All they've done is wet the bed. That's it. They ain't done nothing. So you have people that will say that type of stuff. And nobody is expecting us. Nobody is expecting us to make any serious noise this year. They're not. They're like, man, come on. It's the Falcons. That's what they're saying. But they said that about the Lions until last year. What's going on, Larry? Sent me that raid. What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, Armani? What's up, everybody? Scarbreeze says, man, I'm excited. Terry has to make sure he gets this quarterback situation right this go around because they missed on it with Ritter. Yes. Breeze, what's happening, man? What's happening? But yeah, they definitely need to get that right, and that brings us to Justin Fields. Now, Atlanta checked in with the Bears about Justin Fields. There's this video. I'm trying to pull the video up now to where Justin is clearly happy about something. Now, I hadn't really seen the video. I'm trying to pull it up. I swear to you guys, I am. I hadn't really seen the video per se, but some people were saying you can hear somebody in the background talking about, "Are you ready to go home?" You know, that type of shit. Hold on, let me put this. Let me put this up here real quick. Bear with me for a second, fam. I put ho. Da 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 da. Oh, now I can't find the. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna share this with you guys. If you hadn't seen it already, all right. So apparently, this is Justin Fields' manager. He posted this last night. Let me turn my music down because I want to hear what is actually said in the background. Okay, hold on. Play that again. Okay, it does sound like he says, "Are you ready to go home?" Now, listen. Let me tell you, fam, why I'm apprehensive on even saying anything. Right? 3 years ago, there's a quarterback that's available. Cleveland don't want him. He don't. Well, not Cleveland, but the Texans don't want him no more. He just refuses to play ball with the Texans anymore. There becomes a sweepstakes for him. A lot of teams were out. Then there was a team that he wanted. There were two teams in the race, us and the Saints. Birdies were chirping about how he was in Atlanta and he was ready to sign the deal. The Saints, the following morning, pretty much conceded because you started seeing them make moves with their salary and their roster. So I was like, we got him. We got him. And then Cleveland comes through and says, hey, we'll pay you $230 million guaranteed. He got on a plane, got to Cleveland, end of discussion. So, again, this is all speculation, talk. He can't even say anything really. So even if they told Justin, listen, we're brokering a deal between Atlanta. We're going to move you to Atlanta. And then Atlanta checks in. Now, I don't know which came first. I don't know if the check-in came first and then the video dropped or vice versa. I don't know. What I do know is your boy is waiting. Your boy is waiting. Now, if this is true, the minute the tender starts, the tampering starts, the minute it starts, this needs to be taken care of. If this is really what's going to happen, it's going to leak anyway. So you got guys, hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. You got some guys already saying he's up out of there. But fam, we've been saying this makes the most sense. This makes the most sense for Chicago at this point. The most sense. You got the number one pick. Just for salary issues. You got the first pick. You got a guy 4 years, 5th-year option, rookie scale contract. And you got the 9th pick. And then another thing I'm kind of the writing on the wall there is they fired everybody on the offensive staff in Chicago. So I think they're going to start fresh anyway. Chicago didn't already showed their hand. He showed his hand yesterday. Justin got ahead of the curveball by unfollowing him. He gave us that bullshit that bullshit excuse as to why he did it. George, what's happening? George says, until I see that deal is done, I'm not getting my hopes up. Hey, man, I feel you on that. Ahmad says, what's up, Mark? I've been hearing a few folks say to get Cousins and draft S. Rattler later in the draft, 3rd or 4th. I'm iffy on that, but would it make sense, though? Here's where Justin Fields kind of throws me off, though. The guys that we have, as far as our quarterbacks coach, as far as our offensive coordinator, to me, that just don't seem like it meshes. Even with Zach Robinson, he hasn't had a mobile guy. He's had Matt Stafford, for a few years. And, before Stafford was there, Goff was there. I don't see as far as offensive scheme wise with those guys, but then again, he's a first time coordinator. So I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, your OC, cause these guys are talking about Justin Fields and all these other guys, fam. Y'all got to know they talking about it. But maybe the OC said, hey, listen, I can swing it. I can do it. Kid's 24 years old, he hasn't even entered the prime of his career. Been on a bad team since his rookie year. Hey, but let me pull this up. Y'all know. Okay. Now I know some people don't like this guy. I know some people don't. I honestly, I can't listen to a whole entire show of his because he'll put me to sleep. But he's making buku. He's making money. Club Shay Shay is paying this boy handsomely because Shannon Sharp is under his banner. And we're talking about Colin Cowherd. Now, he didn't already push. A lot of these guys have already pushed Justin Fields out the door. A lot of them have. Greeny tried to push him out of the door before the trade deadline last year. To us. What's going on, Atlanta Doggy says, what's up, Mark? That Falcons versus Bears NFC Championship game is going to be fire next year. Hell, that's if the Bears make it. What's going on, Raymond? We're talking about Justin Fields right now, but Terry Fontenot, we covered his interview, or we listened to his interview earlier. Mill said, hell, Mark, for all we know, Z-Rob probably the one vouching for Justin Fields. Man, hey, it's not going to cost you much because the Bears have showed their hand. They're keeping their number one pick. When you got the GM talking about he's listening to offers, but he's for sale. When they get rid of their entire offensive coaching staff, why the hell would you keep him? That's just dangerous right there. Why would you keep him? When you clear the deck, you bringing in a new QB also. Justin says, We're going to make a hit on QB no matter what. I truly believe that. Terry and the staff going to make this situation right. I definitely do. Wallace says, I think the check-in came first and then the video. Okay. So let's check out what Colin Cowherd has to say, because a lot of these guys have been selling Justin Fields to us for months now.
Do-over, it's better weather, it's a weaker division, and it's a defensive coach. He's got one in Chicago, but this defensive coach has a better feel for offense. So we will find out. You can blame Justin Fields or you can blame the Bears. We'll know by Thanksgiving. If he's a Falcon, we will know by Thanksgiving. Was it Justin who ends up being average in Atlanta maybe? Or is it the Bears if he flourishes in Atlanta? But it does feel like to me also.
What's going on, Uncle Steve? What's happening?
The offensive coordinator is one of McVay's guys, Zach Robinson. And McVay's offensive guys are all good. There are no whiffs with McVay's offensive guys. You may not love Brandon Staley, but Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, outstanding. Guy in Cincinnati got to a Super Bowl, pretty good.
Yeah.
Zach Robinson, super bright guy. So McVay's offensive guys all hit. Sean's one of the smartest guys in the league. He doesn't miss on any of his offensive guys. Like none.
Let me pause this real quick. Steve says, my brother, there will be a lot of goalposts moving from some fans if Mr. Fields ends up here. Stay tuned for the emotions. Man, I'm here for it.
And that's who Atlanta, Raheem Morris, brings him over. That's who Atlanta's got as the OC. So if Justin Fields has talent, you'll see it. And if he doesn't work, it's on him. Because Atlanta's about as good as you're going to do having a defensive coach. Weak division, nice weapons, defensive coach, spent 4 years passing game coordinator, a McVay disciple offensive coordinator, tremendous offensive line. That is about as good as you're going to do if you're Justin Fields out of Chicago. So NBC reporting it's likely Atlanta. Raheem Morris saying I wouldn't have this job if quarterback play was better. Now, maybe they could also get Justin Fields and draft a quarterback. I wouldn't do that. I think that's too much for Fields. He needs to be refined. He needs to be supported. He's gotten beat up a little bit in the press. So very exciting times, J-Mac. And Caleb Williams is now talking. Very exciting times.
Yeah, I hear all this Justin Fields, Atlanta, and I'm looking around and I'm like, do you remember your boy Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Top 5 pick, a lot of prospects.
Yeah.
He ends up going to San Francisco after starting in multiple places and sitting. And now you and a lot of people think he's one of the best backups in the league.
Yeah.
Does it make sense for Fields to go to a smart offensive coach on a good team behind a good quarterback and maybe be a backup as opposed to go to Atlanta where
remember,
I don't know that he's going to be a slam dunk in Atlanta.
Sam Darnold didn't go from the Jets to San Francisco.
There were a couple pit stops, yes.
where he wanted to be a number one.
And struggled.
So Justin Fields, if we're going to do the Darnold comp, Darnold went to Carolina to be the guy and wasn't the guy.
Yeah.
So Justin Fields is saying, hey, I've shown flashes. I get one more shot. Now, if he doesn't work as a starter, and they'll probably give him 2 full years.
Let me pause this right here. Sam Darnold was the same guy that said he was seeing ghosts out there. That's why his ass is a backup. There were really no flashes of Sam Darnold. He came in and failed. And a couple of pit stops, then went to San Francisco. They pushed Trey Lance out the door because they thought he was better in training camp, which I find I'm flabbergasted by that. But Sam Darnold was the same guy who was on a hot mic talking about, I'm seeing ghosts out there. So I can't even put right now, I can't put Sam Darnold and Justin Fields in the same category at all.
And I think it'll be a better version of him.
Mm-hmm.
I think Raheem Morris has a better feel for offense. It's a weaker division. It's better weather. By the way, we got to be honest about this. The NFC North now, Green Bay's stacked and young and has cap space. Detroit is stacked and young. And Minnesota has a coach that I think and some weapons. We think Minnesota's on the rise if they can get the quarterback right. Yeah. So, by the way, that division, Justin, if they bring Kirk Cousins back for 2 years, well, Fields is not Goff. He doesn't look like he's Jordan Love. I watched week 18.
So
It
far.
doesn't look close. And he's not Cousins if he's healthy. You can't do anything in a division with the fourth best quarterback. If he goes to that division, now you have an argument, is he as good as Baker Mayfield?
Okay.
Whether he is or not, he's in the argument for best quarterback talent in his division. If you have the fourth best quarterback.
Wait, is he more talented than Derek Carr?
I think he is significant. He's bigger, stronger, more athletic. Derek, I thought this year became a little bit of a dink and dunk guy.
Dennis Allen, in that offense.
I'm just
See, let me tell y'all something. Sometimes they give guys the mic that just talk. Derek Carr, my guy. Derek Carr, the guy that could not do anything in Oakland with Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, who was their tight end at the time? The boy was a stud. Couldn't do nothing with him either. That Derek Carr? The Derek Carr that came to the NFC South and didn't intimidate nobody. Everybody's lunch money was safe. Waller. Appreciate that, Vaughn. Appreciate that. How you come to a division and everybody lunch money safe? That man ain't bullying this man. How about Derek Carr? Man, see, this chaps my ass because sometimes you get guys like this and you like, how the fuck are you on TV, bruh?
saying if you are in the discussion, argument for best quarterback in your division, you have a shot to make the playoffs. Justin Fields
yes,
is
we
the
have
fourth
Atlanta.
best quarterback if Kirk Cousins stays. He's the fourth best quarterback in the division. I watched Jordan Love play Justin Fields. I watched them play final week of the year. The gap was noticeable. It was not close. Not close.
Let me float one quick team to you. Genius offensive mind.
Let me say this. This isn't a Justin Fields twerk, a twerk pod. It really isn't, fam. But when you mention Jordan Love and you mention Justin Fields, there are two significant differences. One guy sat behind one of the greatest to ever do it for 3 years. He also has an offensive-minded savant as a head coach in LaFleur. On the other side, you got a guy that came in and started on a terrible team. They started taking weapons from him on offense and defense. The minute he got there, Khalil Mack left. What offensive-minded coaches he had? So I get what he's saying, but one guy had the benefit of being trained up and coached up. The other guy didn't. On top of the fact, even this year, Green Bay had better weapons than Chicago did. And I'm not taking anything from Jordan Love. Jordan Love he's probably going to be a stud quarterback. But I mean, let's be real. Man had Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. He had some young receivers. One of them got real hot towards the end of the season. And you got LaFleur there. So, I get it, but there's nuance to that.
Already have a starting quarterback who runs around and make plays. The Indianapolis Colts and Shane Steichen. If Justin Fields goes there, back up to Anthony Richardson, who got hurt, I think 3 times in like 8 weeks.
I don't think you want to put pressure.
See, this is why the guys don't need the mic. This man said, go to Indiana and be a backup to a guy that they just got last year as their franchise guy on a rookie scale. Fam, anywhere Justin goes, you're going to have to pay him. Think about what he just said. You got to trade for Justin, right? Then you have to pay him. But you want to trade for him, pay him, and then have him sit behind somebody. Why let's keep going, man.
On Anthony Richardson having a star in the building. I think it's Anthony's team. Gardner Minshew's a perfect backup. Let's support Anthony Richardson. Justin is a well-known commodity. He's talented. Let's just go all in for one more year on Anthony Richardson. who, for the record, is wild fun to watch.
I know you're big on going to smart organizations, and I think.
Well, no, Raheem
Colts owner,
Morris,
questionable, but head coach.
Let me just throw this out. McVay, many believe Raheem Morris is McVay's best friend in the sport. McVay's one of the smartest guys. Smart guys don't hang out with dumb guys. So Raheem Morris, by the way, you ever watch him at the podium? You watch it, he's sharp, real sharp. McVay considers him one of his best friends in the business. Well, Sean hangs with pretty smart guys. So I don't worry. And else, Raheem is not a defensive. He's not a relic. He's not Jurassic. Dude knows offense. I mean, do you think McVay would be close friends with a dinosaur on offense? Like he and Raheem, that's why they connect. He's a defensive guy that gets offense. Yeah. So Justin in Atlanta is a good story. Is it a good ending? It is a good story. Yeah. You watched Desmond Ritter last year. You watched that stuff.
Unfortunately, I did, yes.
Yeah. Well, you bet him a few times.
More than a few.
Uncle Colin warned you. Lost a lot of money on the Falcons. A common misconception.
Jackson, Josh Allen finally got a receiver and a running back, respectively. They win every.
Yeah, man. So again, you have guys that, get on TV. I don't know what he's making. I'm not knocking this guy for his paper. You make what you want to make, but damn, that's dumb. That's just, why would they even entertain that? But he said that shit with confidence. And it's like, buddy, you do know you got to trade for this guy too, right? Why would I even do that to my rookie quarterback who was bananas last year before he got hurt? That boy gonna be must-see TV. I'm a move on from this before I tap into Buddy's social media and see exactly who the hell he is. Because that's just what he said was stupid. And I'm not, guys, y'all know I'm not really, my first choice would be Kirk Cousins. Because I don't want to give up the draft capital. But, people be saying dumb shit like this, like, Justin Fields ain't shown nothing. Sam Darnold has shown nothing. But there I could go into another area of how they treat certain quarterbacks as opposed to others. I'm gonna shut my damn mouth on that though, because that can be a whole different pod, to be honest. Seth says Ritter's gonna be the backup to the backup. G says a lot of these networks don't like Atlanta sports, so they will say anything. Yeah. Caleb says, I think Buddy is on there just to oppose Colin. Yeah, you do. That seems to be the thing that goes on with these types of shows these days. First Take, they got Doggy on there, and when him and Skip, him and him and Stephen A talk, it's like, people don't talk like that in real life. Not two. Maybe if it's like a group of 5 or 6 guys at the barbershop, maybe you get some shouting matches. But Stephen A, he'll always start off slow. And I have to say, Doggy, your take is very, very, very blasphemous. Now, hold on, Stephen. Hold on a minute. And then they start screaming. Matter of fact, I came across a video today. I was shocked. That's the first time I'd ever heard Doggy talk in his bedroom voice. And what's going on? What's going on, Ryan? What's happening? And what made it so crazy is your boy Stephen A had to go over there and tell him he needs more energy. I guess Doggy's power down button was on. But yeah, you do have those shows that are opposed, and it used to be like that over there in Undisputed. And Skip, I'm saying, Skip, LeBron James is the best person that ever lived. That's what I'm saying. He's the best player and person to ever live. Skip, my grandmama told me LeBron James did brain surgery at 2 years old. He walking like he talking. And then Skip comes with, LeBron's trash and all that other stuff, so on and so on. But that's neither here nor there. So, speaking of Greeny, I'm gonna put him up. Greeny's up now. Now I actually mess with Greeny. He says some off the wall stuff, especially about his Jets. He says some off the wall stuff about his Jets. But man, he's been trying to get Justin Fields up out of Chicago for God knows how long, fam. For God knows how long he's been trying to get your boy up out of there. So Greeny says your boy ain't gonna be there by the end of the week. Now I'm like, okay, tomorrow's Thursday. Are we talking Friday? Your boy up out of there by Friday? Okay. Let's hear Greeny talk.
Chicago than just that. It is, are we retaining Fields or are we trading Fields? Are we keeping the one pick or are we trading the one pick? Are we drafting a quarterback with one of the first 3 picks if we have one? Maybe we give away the picks and Fields and we sign Kirk Cousins ourselves. Like the Bears, the reason why I think it's likely to happen this week, but there is definitely a more interwoven element to the Bears quarterback decision that I think might potentially shoot it out over a longer period of time.
So you then would disagree with my following statement. I would be willing to bet you, I would make the ultimate seeing green boost, whatever you want, that the quarterback of the Chicago Bears week 1 of next season will either be Caleb Williams or Justin Fields. You would not be willing to accept it is a lock to be one of those two?
So you're asking me or are you asking Ryan Poles?
I'm asking you.
Well, I think you're right. I think it is very likely to be Caleb Williams. That's who I think it will be.
Me too.
But if I'm Ryan Poles, I have the world at my fingertips. I have so many options. I have the ability to trade Justin Fields, or maybe I keep him and build a super team around him. Or maybe I draft Caleb Williams with the first pick, trade Justin Fields and do it that way. Or maybe I trade down to 2 or 3, get a bunch of stuff for the first pick, draft Jaden Williams or Drake May and build it that way. Or maybe I trade all of
Let me tell you why I think this is a problem for the Bears GM. I don't think the Bears GM is going to be able to get a team on the hook for that type of haul for that first round pick. I mean, you see some of these teams that are in the top 10 to pick. The only team I see being stupid enough to give a king's ransom for that first is the Giants. And that would be definitely dumb because they just paid their damn quarterback $100+ million last year. So I don't even know how you justify that one. And then here's another thing you got to worry about. Are you going to franchise Saquon Barkley? Or are you going to let him hit the free agency? I don't think a lot of these teams are really dumb enough to give up that ransom right now. So we'll see.
All of it and build the ultimate super team and sign Kirk Cousins to 120 cents on the dollar and make him my quarterback. There are so many paths.
I find that last one
go down
almost impossible to picture.
Tell me why.
Because he's old. I think you have the opportunity right now to have a young quarterback that you're excited about. I don't think you want to go out and sign a 36-year-old quarterback who had a torn Achilles in November.
Let me ask you a question. How much should excitement play into this? Because what I expect is that Kirk Cousins is going to be the best quarterback among all the ones that we're talking about over the next 2 seasons. Agree or disagree?
Oh, I don't know that I agree with that at all.
Who's going to be better than Kirk Cousins over the next 2 seasons among the guys we've talked about?
I don't know that in the right circumstance, Justin Fields isn't going to be better.
So the right circumstance
Kirk Cousins has been in the league since I was a kid. He's won 1 playoff game.
Sure.
He's just not. Kirk Cousins is the Mendoza line is the wrong word.
Mm-hmm.
He is the definition. When we say what is an average NFL quarterback, it's Kirk Cousins. He's good. He's not great. He's not elevating you. And if you're the Bears and you have a chance at someone who could turn out to be special, you also are building a young team that you're not trying to catch lightning in a bottle. If you're the Jets,
now let me stop right here. I think Kirk Cousins is a lot more than average. This last year just proved that, right? If I was Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't go to the Bears. It literally serves me no purpose to go to the Bears. I'm going in there basically as a rental for maybe 1 year. You're going to put me on a team that has a completely new offensive office, period. No real weapons to speak of. I'm in dead man's land in Chicago. Kurt ain't looking at no damn. This conversation they having is idle, really, because he ain't going to damn Chicago, no matter how much money they throw at him, because you're gonna lose. That's why they got the number 1 fucking pick.
Trying to catch lightning. I have to win in the next 2 years. If you're the Bears, you could be trying to build a team that could be really good for the next 5 years.
But you're doing the thing that you
they got the number 1 pick because of Carolina, but neither here nor there.
hate when other people do.
Which is why
you're assuming that the young quarterback's going to be good.
Well, I'm assuming that there's no question the quarterbacks are all good. The question is, are they put in good positions? Are they put in the right places where they can maximize what they do well? Can we minimize what they don't do well? And we're not going to make the kind of ridiculous mistake that, for example, the Jets made in Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's going to wind up being one of the worst draft picks of all time because there was nothing leading towards it. There was absolutely nothing about it that said it was going to be good. There's more than enough evidence to suggest that in the right circumstances, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May might turn into good players. So I'm going to bet that I can put those circumstances around them.
And so you think it's likelier that Justin Fields is their starting quarterback next year over Kirk Cousins or anyone else in free agency or any veteran via trade?
The caveat to that being that they sign a journeyman bridge type and that guy starts week 1, which I know isn't what you mean. So right. I'm not including that.
That strikes me as unlikely too. All I'm saying is I don't think we should be creating a false binary in terms of the options that Ryan Poles is going with. I think that he has so many levers that he can pull.
Also, here's another thing. And he's not considering this. If you do get Kirk Cousins, you have to pay him. You might as well keep Justin Fields if that's the situation. Like you're just not. This isn't Madden. You're just not going to get Kirk Cousins because he's available. You got to pay him too. And if he's going to the Bears, man, listen, y'all gonna pay me, fully guaranteed, because he ain't gonna win in Chicago. He's not.
And the opportunity to create unprecedented leverage for
You're forgetting one thing.
What is that?
You approach everything from a logical perspective. General managers have to approach at least some things from a pragmatic perspective. General managers, and this is not a criticism, it's probably what I would do in their situation as well. They do a lot of things to make sure that if it goes wrong, they don't get fired. And if you don't draft one of these guys and they wind up being Patrick Mahomes, you get fired immediately. And that has to factor into this somewhere in the equation. It was Lakers Suns. And I was out running some errands or whatever it is.
So hold on.
And I put the game on. And for the first, I want to say 7 or 8 minutes in real time that I put on.
Let me fast forward this because he did not say anything about.
It didn't exist in baseball. And I ran into.
Yeah, and this is ESPN.
1 seconds left in the second quarter, whether this was a.
See, now, man, look at this shit. This is ESPN clickbaiting. This is ESPN clickbaiting. Greenberg thinks Justin Fields will be traded by the end of the week. He ain't said shit about, man.
Ache foul or not. Time for the officials to go over. Because there are people who have.
ESPN has 11 million subscribers, dog. They don't have to clickbait. They don't have to clickbait. Bam. They don't have to do that. Okay. Let me take Greeny off my goddamn screen. Since ESPN wants to clickbait with 11 million, that's something I would do. With 11 million subscribers, they clickbait. But anyway. Woosah. So, but he did say that though. It's just not in this clip. Even in the comments, somebody said the Bears signing Kirk Cousins is the stupidest idea I ever heard. That don't even mesh with. I don't see why Chicago would want that situation. I don't know why Kirk Cousins would want that situation. You're getting up off of Justin Fields, one, because you got the number 1 pick, and you don't have to pay Justin Fields a lot of money, and you get draft capital. If you bring Kirk Cousins in, let's just say bare minimum he wants 35 to 40 million a year. That's 80 million for 2 years. Why did you get rid of Justin Fields if that's the... Some of these motherfuckers just be talking. Strapped Up says Kirk should go to the Raiders. Kirk's he's got a couple of places that he can go, man. I think Greeny calling him an average quarterback, But again, I would take what Greeny said over what the other guy. That makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. RUA says, I think Kirk goes back to Minnesota. I don't know if that's going to happen, man, because from what I'm hearing and reading, they don't want to give Kirk another guaranteed contract. They've been doing that the last 6 years. So I don't see him doing it again. But there'll be other teams that'll pick him up, for 2 years. Let me see. All right. Let me go to Rich Eisen. We'll do this one. And then I got one more video I want to play because I want to get people out of here on a happy, funny, high note. So let me go ahead and put this on. And this was 4 hours ago, so this is relatively new. I guess this is an insider on Justin Fields' situation.
On a time with Ryan Poles, the general manager, yesterday for our one-on-one. And as you know, in this business, we're told, hey, you got a time limit, you got to stick to the time. And I wasn't given a time limit. So I opted to go for a good 6 minutes with the GM because I think it's the biggest story. When we talk about all these quarterbacks, and it's really going to be kind of an interesting draft in terms of where these top caliber elite performers fall. And he has a quarterback to figure out himself in Justin Fields. And so it was a really good in-depth conversation. And I do have some takeaways, but I would probably like to see where you'd like to go with those.
Well, I'm curious about what you think. Number one, he says he's coming there with an open mind, but does he really have an open mind?
Well, I think you have to when you.
Oh, wait, I thought this was Rich Eisen. Now,
the Bears,
I don't know who this is.
They don't have a ton of capital in this year's draft. They can get more capital, as we saw last year with the first overall pick. It's very rare, as you know, to have back-to-back first overall picks. You have to be open-minded. But I also think when you do have a scenario where if you are oddly drafting
I'm
at
gonna
the
fast
top
forward
of
this shit real quick because I just need to know.
number one, and he would have to be a can't-miss guy. But I think we all understand, as we've seen historically, you can see quarterbacks be taken in the top 10 and be misses.
Okay, I'm gonna cut this off because I thought Rich Eisen was gonna be on there. I wanted his input on it, but I guess he's on vacation or some shit like that. But what say you? Put a 1 in the chat if you think getting Justin Fields, or well, let me preference it this way. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Atlanta's going Justin Fields. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he's going somewhere else, or we're going somewhere else as far as quarterback goes. So do you think that we're getting Justin Fields? Put a 1. If you think we're going elsewhere for quarterback, put a 2. While I pull this up All right. All right. So let's get okay. So Red Swarm's got one. He's here. Strapped Up says one. Raymond says one. G says one. Country says one. Okay, y'all think he coming. Atlanta Dog says one. Seth says one. Mills says one. D Lawton says one. Mills says Stacy's still fine to me, but she used to be better. Okay. I got what you're saying. Zig says one. Vaughn says unfortunately one. Quincy says one. Ryan says one. My bad. RJ says one. Scooter says love one. My thinking says two. Okay. Armani says Rich Eisen just interviewed Raheem Morris today, I believe. So he's at the combine. That's why she's there. Okay, I got you. Keona says one. JJ says two. Armani says one. Ahmad says, I'd like to say one, but at the same time, I would have said the same thing about Bill becoming the head coach. I've been falling for the hype. Okay, fair enough. Armani says, where there's smoke, there is fire. I agree with that. Me, I have no idea. I know if they're going Justin Fields, March 11th is the legal tampering period. We will probably hear about it March 11th. If March 11th goes by, March 12th goes by, we're probably not going to get them. But when March 11th hits and that news comes, then yeah. Jay Lana says too, every time we think the Falcons are going to do something, it ends up not happening. And that is the gospel. That is the gospel. So what I'm going to do, I told y'all 45 minutes. We've been on here for an hour and 5. Mill said 3. Mill said 3. I don't care. Just get a damn quarterback in here other than Ritter. Amen to that, brother. So I'm going to get you guys out of here on a good note. I forget what channel this is. Hold on. Let me give him a shout out. So let me put this up here. And we just talked about this, but T Money, Mo Funny, or Schmo Funny. We just talked about how these how these sports shows, argue back and forth or whatever. But I'm telling you, if you listen to this and do not laugh, you do not have a soul. You just simply do not have a soul. So with that being said, we will let him have his moment in the sun.
I'm gaining more and more respect for Boosie Badass because he's going to go down in history as an all-time great. See, me, I don't got the Boosie fade. You know why? It made me want to talk that 30. Shannon Sharp caught about it. That'll be the trending topic. I'm telling you, wearing that fade to have your ass on tough shit all day. I fuck with Kodak, but when you a gangster, you got to be careful. Because if you a gangster and you doing something with rats, most niggas won't get along with you, let alone do a song with you. You snitch on me, I don't give a damn. Don't talk to Shannon Sharp. If Skip snitched on me today, he know what I do. See this pancake and flip it. No disrespect. But let me tell y'all something about snitch. A nigga really cried because somebody snitched. A nigga doing life without parole because a nigga snitched.
And you cried when you were little when the other kids told you spent the night on the grill. It's that young nigga turn. Kodak run that money up. That young nigga turned up, fool. He ran the ball, but he didn't fumble. So fuck what if a black plum was a person looking at and ain't got to say about anything.
Skip, you weak hell.
But who gonna do something to me?
You go to the hood, they on your ass.
Yeah, you do it though.
Skip,
I always talk about what a nigga gonna do.
You ain't ready.
Do it? Popeye 6-day-old chicken.
You don't want to do this, Skip. Bird in the Midnight Falcon, Nick ass nigga. You ain't never been in the streets. You was watching Caillou. I was watching Scooby-Doo and Pinky and Cherokee for your information. When I was in school, we used to fight for about 10, 30 seconds in the bathroom, nigga. And Shannon Sharp gonna keep it real. Skip would have came to my school, got his ass mopped in about 3 seconds on God.
So you a gangster because you grew up watching Scooby-Doo?
Facts. All the killers watch.
Just making up shit.
He just man.
You
I'm
think
a
you so tough? You ain't nothing but a nigga with a sword.
Yep. What you
Somebody told me the other day that they walk
every
nigga
time we
think
get in
he
the
tougher than
conversation, he be
everybody.
trying to be funny and shit.
Blade.
Look at the
My
mind.
hero.
Hold on, ask you. Ain't you so keen to Boone Howard?
They my cousin.
Whoa. Dang on, man. Face ass.
You look like a Uganda pastor.
And on my soul, your neck meatless as hell. He look like he don't eat nothing but bread and butter. And why he look like he ain't ate in days? One quick trip, hot dog a day, biting ass nigga. No.
Hey.
Since you want to show out in front of her,
I
you know
ain't
what he
showing
like
out in
you.
front of
Yeah,
nobody.
he like you. He already told me he was gonna try to get your number by telling you Bill Clinton was his best friend. And what was the first thing he said?
You know Bill Clinton is my nigga.
Oh, one lame ass nigga.
So you ain't say she was fine? I'm the only one. You ain't
He
say she
told
was
me a
fine?
whole lot of
Hold on. Nigga, I looked out for you. I knew you was the day walker when nobody else did. I remember when you ain't have a sword, you had a butter knife, nigga. And this shit wasn't even sharp. Am I right?
Skip just mad because at the end of the day, he ain't no street nigga. Ask him who is Marlo, Mike, and Hatch. I bet you this ugly ass nigga cannot tell you.
I already know who it is.
Cap.
If
No, you don't.
they got it, they got to go in and they got to get in and they got to blow in and they got to shit in and
This Busta Rhymes.
That ain't Busta Rhymes.
Okay,
That's,
you just ain't no street nigga.
So you look like you carry 3 Bibles.
Don't get mad at me
playing
because
me,
you
Shane,
ain't
if I
street.
get on your ass.
Get on who ass?
You playing, I'ma up the 450 then hoe. I'm sorry. And I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't never sold dope, Drake the nigga ass and rapped about it, but guess what? I'm still on that type of time. You a real hater, cause you ain't supposed to tell her. They supposed to throw me the alley hoop so I can get some.
Skip,
Sorry.
you doing way too much.
Nah, you doing way too much when you try to
Skip,
expose me.
I exposed you.
Yeah.
But was I lying?
Nah. But real niggas don't do that.
You on live TV saying I'm a hater. Because I told her about
Yeah,
Bill
'cause why
Clinton.
you say
And
that?
because you know she love niggas that dress like Malcolm X, so I don't care.
Cuz, what
I
you
don't
talking
care.
about? You think she care about you calling yourself Wesley
Nigga,
X?
she
Fuck
call
no.
you Skip Hogan, nigga. Ask everybody in the world, they gonna say your
What
ass
they
is
gonna
like
say?
elderly Johnny Cage. Shit
Hell
crazy.
nah, they gonna say
Go
your
on,
ass
say
look
it.
like Terrence Crawford.
Exactly. Because
Right,
I got
so
the
don't be
racks.
mad
When
at
she
me.
with me, she gonna be way more comfortable. You don't know how to talk to women because this shit you pulled today was lame as hell. Need your ass
So
whooped.
we go to the club
You
tonight,
already
cuz
know
you
what
gonna
it
pull my
is,
hold
nigga.
to me.
You know what's going on.
I was never hate. Money been waiting patiently. I know my face to hate.
Hey, man. Y'all, if y'all want to laugh, go to this man's channel, man. I swear to God, he has had me in tears watching some of these videos, man. But with that being said and done, hope I ended on a good note, on a high note, man. You know, we talked about, Justin Fields to death. We covered Terry Fontenot, man, but I'm about to get up out of here so your boy can get something to eat. So with that being said and done, fam, I'm up out of here. I'll probably be on sometime middle of the week, middle of next week. I'm taking this weekend off unless all hell breaks loose in Falcon country. But with that being said and done, fam, y'all have yourselves a great rest of the week, a fantastic weekend, and your boy will holla at you. Peace.